Hey everyone, welcome to our yoga practice today. Considering the card that we just pulled about, focusing our thoughts on health and well-being, and that allowing us to be a little more in harmony with our body being healthy and well, I thought we'd center a practice around that intention today. So, one on where we're going to cultivate healthy thoughts and well-being in our space, in our body. So to start, we're going to start with the seated cross-leg easy pose. Okay, so get yourself comfortable. If this isn't feeling good today, feel free to lie on your back in Shavasana. Remember, it's always helpful. I'm actually going to do it myself today to use a cushion just a couch cushion, even under the seat, just to elevate the hips a little bit. And if you don't like the cross leg version today, I think I'm going to try this, the Burmese style, where I put the sole of the foot against inner thigh and sole of the opposite foot against the shin. There we go. Okay, so once you're in your seated cross leg position, let your hands just rest either palms down or up on the knees or thighs, wherever feels most comfortable. Okay, down for grounding. I think I'm going to do that today. I'm going to feel a little more grounded in the moment. And I'm going to take a moment just to roll the shoulders up and open. Okay, so just making sure we're in a poised position. Okay, slight tuck of the chin and then closing your eyes. Just come into your natural flow of breath, whatever that happens to be. And you're just noticing how that feels in your body. So you're not having to do any particular technique here. We're just noticing that we are breathing and what that feels like. And so noticing the sensation of that inhale in to the body, and then exhale coming out of the body. Where are you noticing sensation? Where are you noticing motion? And feeling now your connection to the mat beneath you. So feeling your feet and your legs, your sit bones connected to the pillow, to the mat. Noticing your hands resting on your knees and thighs, feeling the weight of your hands. Taking a deep breath all the way in. And on the exhale, just softening your shoulders, softening your jaw. Just take one more deep breath like that, all the way in, into the belly. Feel your belly expand, and then exhale, let it go. Nice. And come into the natural breath again. And we're just going to now move into a little breathing exercise of a 4-count inhale. We're going to hold for 1 count, and then a 6-count exhale. So if the 4-count inhale is a little much, you can always shorten that to 3, and then maybe going for a 5-count on the exhale. So start where you are. Okay, that's very important. All right, so when you're ready on your inhale, starting to inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, go to your own count. Don't forget the hold at the top. Exhale. Three more full breath cycles. Last one. Inhale, 4. Hold. Exhale, 6. And come into your natural breath. Noticing any space you've created with that breath in the body and in the mind. Setting our intention now for our practice together. Saying quietly to yourself, I welcome thoughts that support my well-being. I welcome thoughts that support my well-being. So setting that intention and accepting what is as well in the moment. So if we have thoughts that are not focused on the well-being, we allow them and we recognize them, observe them without story. But we recognize and appreciate when we have thoughts that are for our well-being, that are healthy for us. Appreciate and welcome. And once you've set that for yourself, feel free to slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back into the space. And we're going to work a little bit. I feel like I can really use this today on some neck releases. So just starting with a deep breath in, getting nice and tall. And then exhale, slowly lowering the left ear towards the left shoulder. So it doesn't need to touch the left shoulder, but we're just allowing gravity to do its job. We're just slowly moving that left ear towards the left shoulder. Maybe a little rock forward and a little rock back. All right. When you're ready, inhale. Let's bring the head up to neutral. Exhale, head to the other side. So the right ear now towards the right shoulder. Stay with your breath. Gentle rock forward and back. Deep breath. Inhale up through center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. This time bringing the right fingertips out to the floor beside you. Deep breath. One more deep breath. And then exhale, come up to center. Deep breath in, get tall. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder, bringing the left fingertips out to the mat beside you. Creating some length all along the left neck, down the left shoulder and arm to the floor, right to the fingertips. Deep breath. Inhale, coming up to center. We're going to do some shoulder shrugs now. Inhale, use your hands as a little bit of support here. We're going to push the shoulders up as far as they'll go towards the ears on the inhale. And then exhale, let them drop. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. Last one. Nice. And then some shoulder rolls, rolling the shoulders back and up on an inhale. And exhale, forward and down. Excuse me. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then opposite direction. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. One more. I feel like being, you just had a little yawn. That is a great sign that your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, is coming online. Very nice. And now we're going to move through a few seated cats and cows. Before we do that, we're going to switch up our leg position. We've been in this position for a little bit. So just take the legs out in front, give them a little shake. Maybe some flexing of the feet and pointing of the toes. Nice. And then coming into the cross leg position, but the opposite way. So the opposite leg in front. Very nice. So for seating cat and cow, up to you. Hands can either be on the knees or on the shins, whatever feels most comfortable for you. You get a slightly different stretch when you have it on the knees. So I'm going to go with that today. It's a little broader. Okay. And on an inhale, it's very much like the regular cat and cow, where the inhale, you're opening up the chest. Exhale, you're curving up the spine, but you're in the seated position. Okay. So inhale, we're opening up, chin and pelvis tilt. Exhale, we're tucking the chin and pelvis. And you let your breath lead. So inhale, opening up. Exhale, tucking the chin. Flow with your breath. You don't have to be at any particular speed here. Noticing, feeling that space again that you're creating in your neck, your shoulders, upper back. Two more full rounds. I'm really definitely feeling that in my shoulders. And then after the last exhale, let's inhale back to that neutral seated position. We're just going to move into a few side bends here. So the left fingertips coming down to the mat again beside us, reaching the crown of the head up. We're going to take the right hand out to the side, palm facing up. Inhale all the way up, reaching up, keeping the shoulder in the shoulder joint. And then exhale, bending to the left side. Inhale, flowing all the way up. Right fingertip touch the mat, left hand palm up. Inhaling up. Exhale, bend. So just flow with your breath here. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Let's go one more on each side. And the next time you come into your bend on the right side, we're going to inhale all the way up and then back down to our seated position. Very nice. Okay, so we're now going to move into our tabletop. So if you have that cushion that you're still seated on, you can move that off to one side. And then bringing the hands out in front, coming in our tabletop position. Hands are under the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide, knees under the chest. Toes can either be tucked or untucked. Okay. On an inhale, we're going to lift the hips all the way up, coming into your downward facing dog. Feel free here is our first one. Pedal out the feet. Went out for a run this morning, so I'm feeling like my hamstrings are really tight. So I'm going to take it nice and easy with some deep breaths. I'm reaching the hips up as I'm pulling the backs of the thighs to the back of the mat. Let my head just hang. Little yeses and little no's. Nice. Inhale, let's come up on the balls of the feet. Exhale, walk the feet forward to the head of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. Keep a little bend in the knees if that feels nice. You can hold opposite elbows like me as well if you like. It's a ragdoll version. Deep breath in and out. Nice. Releasing the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's sweep all the way up. Upward salute. And then exhale, hands down through the heart center and at your sides, a mountain. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lifting the arms all the way up. Exhale, bringing the hands apart. Swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands down to the mat. We're going to step our right foot all the way back. Lowering down the back right knee, making sure your front knee is stacked over the front ankle. So we're in our supported low lunge. Toes can either be tucked or untucked. Okay, take a deep breath. Up on the fingertips. Option here to come all the way up into your full low lunge. Keeping the hips square to the front of the mat. Do cactus arms if you like. Deep breath. And then exhale, hands down to the mat. We're going to bring up the back knee. So we're coming into a supported high lunge here. And I'm going to bring that back foot so that the sole is flat on the mat and the toes are dialed at about a 45. So we're in our warrior stance now. Okay. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale. You can bring the hands initially up to the thigh to help, and then opening up into our warrior two. So the torso is flush with the long edge of the mat. Shoulders are down, arms are parallel to the mat, making sure that front knee, mine was starting to wander there, is over the front ankle still. And your gaze can go over that front middle finger. So opening up here, feeling clear and strong. Feeling that mental clarity. One more breath. Nice. Inhale, let's lengthen the front legs. Option here to shorten the stance a little bit. I kind of like that. We're going to move into our triangle pose. So we're going to do a slight shift of the hips back and then bringing the arms horizontally forward until we cannot go any further. And then we're going to tip into our triangle. So keeping, again, the chest open. Option here for gaze is either up at the top hand or forward or down, whatever's best on the neck. And if reaching up's a bit much, you can always hold on to the hip. Okay, that's a great option too. And if you have blocks, they're a really nice support under that bottom hand if you need that. Deep breath. So feeling centered here, like letting your center hold you. One more deep breath. And then exhale, let's reach that top arm forward as we bring a bend to the front knee, coming on the ball of the back foot. So we're coming into that supported high lunge again. And now stepping the front foot all the way back, coming back into our downward facing dog. So take a couple deep breaths here. Inhale, let's flow forward into plank. One more breath. And then exhale, lowering down knees, chest, and chin. Untucking the toes. Inhale up into our cobra. Exhale down to the mat. Tucking our toes. Inhale, hips back up into downward facing dog. Deep breath. On an inhale, coming up on the balls of the feet. We're now going to step the right foot all the way forward between the hands and then lowering down the back knee. So back into our supported low lunge. Inhale, coming up on the fingertips. Deep breath. When you're ready, option to bring the arms all the way up into your full low lunge. Shoulders down from the ears. Maybe cactus arms. And then exhale, hands down to the mat for support. Inhale, lifting up the back knee initially into supported high lunge, but then bringing that back foot so the sole is flat on the mat, toes dialed at 45. When you're feeling centered and grounded, inhale, arms can initially come to the thigh or open up into warrior two on the other side. So keeping your torso open to the long edge of the mat. Shoulders are down the back. Arms are parallel to the ground. Legs are strong. Deep breath. Gaze over the front middle finger. Again, feeling the support of your legs, of your strong foundation. Feeling open and clear. One more deep breath. Nice. Inhale. Let's lengthen the front leg. Option to shorten the stance. Shifting now into our triangle. So hips shift back and then arms go long forward and then tipping into our triangle. Again, keeping the chest open on this side. Legs are strong. Option for hands on hips. Finding your breath. Feeling centered, feeling strong. One more breath. And then exhale, we're going to reach that top hand all the way forward as we bring a bend to the front knee. Come on the ball of the back foot. And we're going to step that front foot all the way back into our downward facing dog again. Find your breath. Hips high. Back is long. Fingers spread wide. Fingertips pressed into the mat. Inhale, let's come on the balls of the feet. And now we're going to step all the way forward into our standing forward fold. Let your back just hang. Let your head hang here. Nice. One more breath. Just letting everything go. Coming back to a clear, centered place. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's sweep all the way up. Upward salute. Take your time. Exhale, hands down through heart center. And at your sides in mountain. All right. And so now moving into our balance pose. What better way to feel grounded than to move into tree pose? So we're going to start by bringing all of our mental focus, our attention, into our left foot. So I'm feeling that left foot connected on the mat, maybe reaching the toes up and then grabbing them back down. So we really feel that. Okay. When you're ready, you're bringing now a bend to the right knee, and we're going to start by just bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Now, if you know you've got balance stuff, you're a little bit shaky, feel free to move yourself so you have the wall for support beside you. Okay. Option here to bring that foot up to the inside of the calf. Okay. Or perhaps all the way to the inner thigh. Do try and avoid the knee joint. We don't want to put any undue pressure on that joint. Okay. Once you feel grounded in your foundation, you can play with the arms. You can do, the prayer mudra at the heart center, or we can grow our branches all the way up if we like. Okay. Remembering your breath. And if your tree sways or falls over like mine just did, that's fine. You can just bring yourself right back in. Let that go. Come back anew. That's the thing with balance poses. They bring you into the present. Sometimes our thoughts can get a little, if you fall out like that, you might have a whole thing that takes off, right? Oh my goodness, I'm not very good at this, blah, blah, blah. Just recognize when that happens, accept it, and then come back into the moment. Refocus. One more breath. All right, when you're ready, you can slowly start to bring the arms down and then bring down that right foot. Very nice. Okay. Taking a deep breath, let's bring the arms all the way up and then all the way down on the exhale. Nice. Okay. Other side. So take a moment, maybe give that left ankle joint just a little TLC. There we go. And now we refocus. Let's refocus down to that right foot. Feeling it gripped onto the mat. Very nice. Okay. And then we're ready to slowly, take your time, bring up the left foot And you might find things completely different on this side, totally normal, by the way. You might try a different version of it here. Up to you. I think I'm going to do the prayer mudra here. It feels nice. And then just again, finding your breath. Coming into some ease. Feeling the rootedness of the right foot. Feeling that support. And just noticing what's here. Accepting what's here. But acknowledging your strength in this moment. All right, one more deep breath. All right, very nice. And then when you're ready again, take your time with control, bringing yourself back into your mountain pose at the head of your mat. Nice. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, bring those arms all the way up. Swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bringing the hands all the way down to the mat. We're going to step our feet all the way back into downward facing dog for just a couple more breaths. Hips high. One more breath. And then exhale, bringing a bend to the knees, coming down into our tabletop. So hands are under the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees are under the hips. Toes can either be tucked or untucked. Okay. Deep breath in and out. Now bringing the knees a little bit wider. Then we're going to untuck the toes and bring the toes, big toes together. Deep breath in, exhale, hips back onto heels. And we're going to move into heart melt pose. If this does not feel good, feel free to just come down to regular child's pose. So for heart melt, we're bringing the arms out to the side, right and left to the side, quite a bit wider than the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, get tall, long in the spine, and then exhale. The chest comes down towards the mat, gazes forward towards the hands, and find your breath. Option to tent the fingertips. You want to make it a little more intense. If this is a bit too much on the shoulders, you can just come down to your regular child's pose with forehead or cheek on the mat. Let's go for a couple more breaths. If you have really tight shoulders like me today, this is feeling amazing. Nice. And then inhale, coming back up into tabletop. And so just, you can tell I'm feeling like I need a little bit of shoulder work today. So we're going to do a little bit of thread the needle while we're here. Inhale, taking that right arm open and up, and then exhale, right hand comes down and under the left. We're coming right onto the right shoulder and the right cheek. So you can stay on the left fingertips, or you can bring that left hand all the way back and around to the lower back if you like. Finding your breath. Deep shoulder stretch. One more breath, letting everything go on that exhale. Nice. And then the left hand's up, bring it on back down for support. Bring yourself all the way back up into your tabletop. Finding your breath. Inhale, other side. Left arm goes up and open. Exhale, left arm comes down and under the right. We're coming right on to the left shoulder. Option to tent the right fingertips or bring that right arm all the way back to the lower back. And finding your breath. For me, the shoulders and neck is an area where I do feel a lot of chronic, unpleasant sensation. Let's put it that way. And I acknowledge that. But this is something that I can do to really help with that. Using my breath, stretching that area, creating some space, releasing the tension. have the option to do that. One more breath. And then exhale. Let's bring that right hand all the way back down to the mat. Maybe just a little rock from side to side here. I'm going to bring my right shoulder towards my left hand, just a little bit of a twist, bring my gaze towards the left, and then coming through center, I'm going to do that to the other side. Just feels really nice. Okay. There we go. All right. So we're going to bring our hips back now onto our heels and just swing the legs out in front. Slowly bring yourself all the way down onto the mat. Take your time. Okay. Keep it bent in the knees. We're going to keep the soles of the feet on the mat. Feet are about hip distance apart. Arms are long down at your sides, palms facing down. Fingertips are pretty much touching the back of the heels. When you're ready, on an inhale, pushing into your feet, bringing the hips up into bridge. Exhale, slowly bringing the hips all the way back down. So you're keeping your head in line with your spine here. Let's go 2 more times just like that. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, all the way down. Last time, inhale, hips come up. This time we're going to stay stationary. Option to clasp the hands and roll the shoulders onto the back. Finding your breath. One more breath. And exhale, slowly release down one vertebrae at a time. Hips back down onto the mat. We're going to bring our knees all the way into chest. A gentle rock from right to left, side to side. And our final happy baby. So feet above the torso, knees to either side. Hands can be on the soles of the feet or on the shins, whatever feels best, inside or out. Okay, just letting gravity do its work here. Creating a little space as well in the hips. Deep breath. One more breath. And exhale, let's release the legs now long down the mat. Just let your feet roll apart. Arms are out at your sides, palms facing up. We're going to move into our final Shavasana now. So get yourself comfortable, maybe a cushion under the knees or under your head. Maybe a blanket if you feel you need that. Keep you warm. And once you find yourself in a comfortable, still position, take a deep breath all the way in your nose and out your mouth. And just letting your body soften and relax on the mat. Taking a gentle scan, starting at your feet. Moving up your legs. If there's any tension you're holding on to, see if you can soften with a deep breath. And softening your hips and your belly. Relaxing your shoulders and your arms. Let your fingers just let go. Relaxing your jaw. All the muscles around your eyes. And finally, your tongue. When you're ready, you can begin to deepen your breath. Take your time, bring a little gentle movement back into your body. And you can slowly guide yourself onto one side when you're ready. Finding your breath again. And then when you're ready, slowly guiding yourself all the way back up into our seated cross-legged position, same way we started. Letting your hands rest on your knees or thighs, slowly closing your eyes. And just saying quietly to yourself, I am capable of nurturing my well-being. Each breath brings calm and clarity. Take a deep breath. Each breath brings calm and clarity. My thoughts support my healing. And just taking a minute now to notice your thoughts, where they are at, accepting whatever is there. And then if you so choose, you can always choose another thought, a thought that is supportive. Just remember, you always have that power. Noticing how your body is feeling. Noticing how your breath feels. All right, bringing the palms together, thumbs pressed into the heart center. And taking a deep breath in and out. And taking one final moment of gratitude for this time and space for our practice today. Thank you for making your well-being a priority. Namaste. All right. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed that and really needed that. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. All right. I hope it sets you up for a lovely rest of your day and rest of your week. Until next time, feel free to like, to share, to comment, subscribe. Absolutely. I'll be definitely keeping up with this. I'm really loving it. So, yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.